Last week on the channel, we built a wall ride. Based on the wall ride at Highland Bike Park, I designed it to fit our location using a computer. We had an impromptu milling operation in the forest, dug some holes, assembled the frame, and nailed down some rungs. And by the end of the video, we had a wall ride. The only problem is that we didn't actually ride it. A few of you took issue with this, and one of you even tried to organize a riot. Well, stay cool, my dudes. We're going to hit it this time around. But there was a good reason for not riding it right away. We needed to build a lip to step up onto the feature, and building a proper landing was equally important. You might remember that last week we had a trail crew out while we were building the wall ride. Well, I put them to work on the run in. Meanwhile, I started to cut in the landing. And since you can exit the wall ride from the top edge or the bottom, it really needed to be a wide, safe, long landing since the rider could potentially land in a number of different spots. I also put in a berm since the trail needed to head left towards the jungle. The next day, we came back to build the lip. In the past, we just built jumps by piling up a bunch of logs. And while that works just fine, Bobby wanted to build something just a little prettier. So with some leftover cedar rounds, we framed up a triangle. We also had some leftover split rungs from the drop build, which worked perfect for the deck. We also threw on some flashing tape to prevent the rungs from rotting. We nailed some logs to the sides to hold the dirt in, and nailed down some ribs to help prevent the dirt from sliding out over time. And then it was time to fill up our triangle with dirt. It didn't take long with the crew we had, and soon we had a finished lip.
After the jump?
The next day, Yuka and I came back to do the first test rides of the feature. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, you can do it.
After some warm-up on the upper part of the trail,
Woo.
sweet, we headed down to the wall ride.
Oh yeah, that's gonna work.
No one had ridden it yet, so there were a lot of question marks. Did I put the lip in the right spot? Could I actually carry enough speed into it? I did as much planning as I could when designing it, but you don't know if it's actually gonna work until you ride it. I'll just take this one step at a time. First, I just tried to get up onto it.
Yes, you cased it.
But I can already tell, like even the case, I'm totally gonna make it off this thing. I got on though.
Good, your wheel didn't explode.
I really just needed to get on there without casing it.
That's better, right?
I guess there's only one thing left to do.
Okay, I'm gonna go off this side. I braked in the middle of it. I braked in the middle of it. I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this. And I realized I had to go off. I cased it bad.
Well, I guess we can officially say it works. Just don't brake, or you'll definitely come up short on the landing, leading to a big case.
Oh, hard hit.
Okay, I do it again without braking.
The next try went a little better though, just with a small case. And eventually, I was clearing it easily. But the trail still needed some work to make the whole thing work better. I needed to make the run-in a little smoother and berm it in a little so you could carry more speed into the lip. I was also afraid to hit it any bigger than I had been. The corner in the landing came up real fast and I nearly went over the berm a few times.
Yeah, that needs to change. I'm pretty sure most of the people are going to go over the edge here.
So that also needs some rerouting. The only problem was that there was a wet swampy spot at the bottom of our route. It's the reason the trail turned earlier before. I didn't want to deal with this, but now we have to take care of it. So if we dig it out a little and fill it up with some rocks, the water will continue to flow through. Then we top it with some gravel and then some sand, and we've got a pretty good surface to ride on. Meanwhile, Yuka checks things out from above. Next, we had the sad task of destroying the berm I had made the day before. Once that was done, I got to work up top on the run-in. It was a little bumpy and the corner was flat, so if we just lower the inside of the trail a little and move some dirt around, the run-in to the lip would become much quicker. Meanwhile, as Yuka chilled out in the van, she had a few visitors.
Hello there. Hello there. You should go away. You should go away.
In the end, the run-in became much better, and it didn't take much time to do, so it was totally worth it. A week later, we came back with our friends Antoine and Isabel. They hadn't ridden the trail yet, so we warmed up on some of the upper features. The You Can Do It drop was no problem for Antoine, as was the stump jump. But the new wall ride, well, it was no problem for him either. I suppose it's my turn then. Well, that's me. A last-minute brake check as usual.
I thought I was going too fast. Yeah, I was going way faster than normal.
Okay.
Okay, try again.
But another attempt later, and things went perfectly.
Sweet.
The new run-in and run-out are working great. But the cool thing about this feature is that the higher you go up on the wall, the bigger the drop is at the end. So I guess I should see how high I can go, right?
Go higher, Eric.
Yeah, that was the lesson from today.
Uh-oh. I have to go higher.
Yeah.
Okay. Above that knot.
In the end, I garnered enough courage to go above the halfway point.
Woo.
Just above this knot.
Woo.
I'll see if I can go higher in the future. And while all this was going on, Yuka was trying it out as well.
I used a quite bit of brake.
She had some trouble not braking in the corner just before the jump.
Yeah. I'm using so much brake on the corner. That corner is so weird. Okay, I gave up.
But she didn't give up.
Oh yeah. That was alright. Yes. That was good. Okay, one more time.
In the end, she could get up on top, but she couldn't commit to dropping off the other end. But I'm sure she'll eventually get it in the future. So that's the wall ride. It took 3 weeks of scouting, designing, milling, construction, and tuning to get it to this point. And a feature like this really needs a name. So what should it be? Maybe something to do with the giant slash pile sitting right next to it? Or maybe we can name it after Bobby since he was instrumental in the construction of the feature. Or should we pay homage to the wall ride at Highland? The original one was called the Denture due to its shape from above, and when it was rebuilt last September, it received the name the Retainer. Should we call it Dr. Bobby's Slash Pile? Suggestions are welcome down below. As for future trail build videos, well, here in BC we're allowed to travel again, and Yuka and I are really keen to get back out on the road. So for the rest of the summer, we're going to be doing some riding here in BC, and we'll come back in the fall to finish off the trail. Until then, the trail is still closed since it's under construction, but when it does open, I'll let you know where it is and you can come out and ride it. And lastly, I just wanted to thank everybody who helped out on this feature. I bit off a lot with this one and I couldn't have done it without you guys. So thanks a ton. Hopefully I haven't scared you off trail building. But, as always, thanks for watching and stay gnarly.